Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mihir Shah once again with another video. In this video, we're going to discuss about the most important theory question that you need to study under the subject Financial Service Management, also known as FSM. Again, a very important video for all the TYBBI Sem V student. Now, this video has been divided in two parts. First part will be based on important theory question which are based on long answers, and the second part will be based on the short notes. So let us see under each topic, each module, each chapter, what are the topics, what are the important theory questions available that you need to study to score excellent marks in your examination. Okay, so the very first important long answers, Unit 1, Chapter number 1. Under that, question number 1 is define financial services and explain the type of financial services. Okay, now remember one thing, the syllabus is quite vast, okay. So among that, there are few chapters in which multiple number of questions needs to be covered up, and then there are few chapters in which only one or two questions need to be covered up, okay. Next is describe the scope of financial services. Next, explain the various fund-based and fee-based services in brief. Okay, they can ask you individually also, or they can ask you in combine also. So if they're individually, they can ask you explain any four types of fee-based or fund-based services. Next, discuss any four innovative financial instruments of recent time. Next, define services and explain innovative financial instruments. Next, explain the various innovative products in detail. Next, we have described various agencies providing financial financial services. Next, what are the challenges faced by financial service sector in India? Then they can even ask you like a case study answer. After LPG, what growth has taken place in the financial service sector in India? And lastly, under chapter 1, we have distinguished between fund-based and fee-based financial services. Okay, next, Unit 1, Chapter number 2, define merchant bankers and explain their services. Second, we have explained the objectives and features of merchant banking. Next, what are the features of merchant bankers? Next, we have what are the different problems of merchant bankers. Next, explain the classification of merchant bankers as per SEBI guidelines. Or they can even ask you the same question in a different manner. Discuss the guideline issued by SEBI toward merchant banking. Okay, both means the same part. Next, distinguish between commercial bank and merchant banks. Okay, so these are all the important topics that you need to cover up under Unit 1, Chapter number 2. Next, Unit 2, Chapter number 3, describe the structure of mutual fund operations in India. Next, we have describe different types of mutual funds, and then what are the advantages and disadvantages of mutual funds. Then the slogan we have of mutual fund sahi hai. Explain that statement and bring out the advantages or disadvantages of mutual fund. That kind of question also can come. Then outline the causes of slow growth of mutual funds in India. That can even become the disadvantages basically, you can write reason for slow growth. Then what are the various risks involved in investing in mutual funds? Next is explain the facilities available to investors of mutual funds. Next, discuss different rights available to mutual fund investors. And last, describe the role of commercial banks in mutual fund industry. Now, this topic has come a couple of times in past paper also, okay. So, very important, you all need to go through that. So, this was Unit 2, Chapter number 3. Next, Unit 2, Chapter number 4, highlight the difference between the factoring and forfeiting. Next, define forfeiting and explain its merits or advantages and disadvantages. Next is what is export factoring and explain its various types. Next, what is factoring and explain its modus operandi. Now, modus operandi means nothing but the working, okay. So whenever they give you a question in which they use the word modus operandi, is nothing but the operation, how it works, the process. Okay, or explain the working of forfeiting, it means the same. Okay, so factoring or forfeiting, they can ask in both the ways, the working. Next, what are the different types of factoring? After that, we have what is factoring and distinguish between the recourse factoring and non-recourse factoring. Very important topic again, that is. And lastly, distinguish between factoring and bill discounting. Next, Unit 3, Chapter number 5, describe securitization and explain its operation mechanism, or explain the modus operandi of securitization. So it's the same thing, okay? Like in the previous I told you, the modus operandi means the operation. Next, state and explain the merits and demerits of securitization. Then what is securitization and describe any 4 benefits. Next we have state the role of parties in securitization. Then we have explain the various types of assets that are securitized, and distinguish between factoring and securitization. Now remember, in this subject, major time even distinguishes have come in the paper. Okay, so all the distinguishes which have been mentioned are very important from the exam point of view. Next, Unit 3, Chapter number 6, we have define options and the various types of options. Explain the concept of options along with the features. Then we have define derivatives and bring out its importance. And there we have again what are financial derivative and their features. Then we have what is derivative and explain the features of forwards and future contract. Then we can even have distinguish between futures and option. Then we have different types of financial derivative. What are the different types of financial derivatives? Then we have swap. Explain the swap and what are the different types of swaps. Compare, that is distinguish between forward and future contract, and advantages and disadvantages of future contract. Okay, Unit number 4, Chapter number 7. So if the first 3 units are very important from the exam point of view, and even chapter number 7 is very important, multiple times the questions keep repeating. All, majorly all these questions are even there in your short notes, okay, that we will be discussing later. So under Unit 4, Chapter number 7, define housing finance and function of new housing, banking and finance, NHB. Explain the various sources of housing finance. Explain briefly about the different housing finance companies in India. Major issues of housing finance, the drivers of demand in housing, and explain the growth factor of housing finance in India. Okay, next, Unit 4, Chapter number 8, explain the sources and terms of consumer finance and what are the different types of consumer finance. So chapter number 8, only 2 answers are important. Unit number 5, Chapter number 9, again 2 answers only. Explain depository system and the eligibility criteria of being depository in India, and what are the features of depository system in India. Last, Unit number 5, Chapter number 10, only 1 answer. Define pledge and explain the procedure of pledge or hypothecation of security. Okay, so these are all the long answers. Now we jump to the short note part. So this is the first set of short note. We have write a short note on pledge, functions of depository system, pledge versus hypothecation. That is now again all this was from the chapter number 10. The rights and obligation of depository, eligibility criteria for depository, hypothecation, types of consumer finance, sources of consumer finance. See, all these questions have already come in the long answer also, okay. So though the syllabus is vast, but if you learn the long answer, you can easily manage the short notes. Next, what are the sources of housing finance? National Housing Bank. Short note on growth factors of housing finance, NSDL or functions of NSDL can come. Features of options, role of AMFI, financial derivatives, forward. Okay, then we have innovative financial instruments, scope of merchant banks in India, dematerialization, swap, asset liability management, ALM. NAV we have net asset value. These are very important. Okay, innovative financial instrument. Then the operation of the mechanism of securitization, open-ended mutual funds. Okay, so these were the 3 sets of short note that needs to be learned very well. Okay, Chalo, I hope you all have noted down all the important topics that you need to cover up. The syllabus is quite vast of financial FSM. So see that you all prepare it very well. Chalo, with that we will be ending this video here. Thank you.